Welcome to another Slablog podcast. This is number 21, and this is your host, Philip Albritton. I have here this morning my two co-hosts and my brothers, Ronnie Albritton and Lloyd Albritton. We're going to talk about something to do with Christmas time this morning. Our topic today is Christmas trees. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Christmas trees.
Yeah. Now,
I think everybody ought to have one.
I think it's a fine thing.
As Christmas trees go, I think it's a good thing.
I pulled up this website, the history of Christmas trees. So, how y'all doing today?
We doing good, Philip. How y'all doing?
I'm doing okay. It's cold. It's too cold for me.
Oh, I like this. I wish I could be out back plowing. You know, if I had the old mule, I'd have my harnessed up right now, plowing.
Yeah, I wish I was running up down the highway going from wreck to wreck, too.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to clean off your rear window before you back out on the highway.
Yeah. Which reminds me of a story. You remember when it was about 8 degrees when me and you and Travis was camping?
Yeah, that's right. We forgot. We burned all them turpentine cups.
Found every pine cone in
turpentine cups. Don't you remember off them trees?
Anything that was burned.
I mean, we had that old Dodge truck of Gibbs, and we slipped up in the back of that thing.
We still
Why in the world did we ever set out?
We stayed all night.
All night,
we were returning.
Was it down by the creek?
No, it was by the side of the road.
In the middle of the woods.
Pineville. It was just out there beside the road.
You had no tent or nothing?
Nothing.
No tent, nothing.
See, we crawled up in the back of the truck and pulled cover over us, and then get out periodically and throw some more of them turpentine cups on the fire to set a fire.
I don't think we even took nothing but a couple of old blankets or something. Yeah.
A couple of hound dogs back there.
Well,
yeah, those are the days, man. Those are good old days.
Those are good memories, but I want you to try to remember like that about Christmases past. Since this is Christmas holiday, I want to talk about Christmas a little bit, and specifically Christmas trees.
I don't think we ever had a Christmas tree at our house.
Oh, Lloyd, we did.
We had trees.
Of course we did.
I mean, they weren't
the
kind that you see now so commercialized. We went out and drug one to the house and took them old icicles. Don't you remember? And threw them all over the tree.
Throw them, yeah.
Throw them up on the
so they would look natural hanging.
Did we do that every year, or did we always?
We done that every year, and then drug that thing out and burned it when we got through.
Yeah, well, I don't remember having a Christmas tree.
What was the procedure for going? Where did you go to look for those? I remember
just anywhere.
I remember most of the woods around our house was these piney woods, and a lot of it was cultivated, grown. They were planted pine trees. Mm-hmm. Now, how did a Christmas tree?
Well, a cedar is an evergreen.
That's right.
They were out there all amongst them.
So we just have to find one that was somewhere out there.
You get out in them woods somewhere and spot one.
Everywhere,
And we used to drag them to the house.
I remember going and looking for one, but I don't know how we decided where to look.
Well, if you're smart ahead of time, in the summertime, we was running them woods all the time. You tie a rag around one where you can find it in the wintertime.
How'd that help you find this?
Well, Ronnie, if you got that close, you'd be able to see it with or without the rag.
That's what I'm saying.
But the rag would stand out. See?
How so?
I mean, could you see it from the house?
Well, you might could.
Ronnie saw that on David Crockett.
Depend on your field of fire, you know.
All right. Well, I pulled up this website about the history of Christmas. Did you know? I didn't know it till I read this. That we didn't have Christmas trees in America till the mid-19th century.
No, it'd be the 1800s.
Right.
1850, something like that.
About 1850, 1860, there was no Christmas trees in America.
So this tree thing probably came from Europe.
Originally from Germany, Finland.
Germany!
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen, speaking of that, and to get off course a minute, I thought I was in need of your services the other night. Linda and I got on the Netflix and found a movie, and it was captivating. It was about the guy and the things they crashed Norwegians, Germans shot them down during the Gestapo and executed them as they found them, and it was the name of it, it's the 12th Man, if you ever get a chance
saw
to
that,
watch
right?
it. Did you?
12th Man. Yeah.
I mean, there's no English at all. It's
No,
it's
no, I saw
Nordic
that
and
movie.
German, and Linda and I both.
Subtitles? Didn't you have subtitles?
No,
they were
didn't have
looking-
nothing. You just, I told
No,
Linda,
I
I
think
said,
there
I
were
can't believe we
subtitles.
watched that whole thing, and I ain't know what any of them said. I thought about Philip. We need Philip here to kind of tell us what's going on.
Didn't they finally get the guy at the end? Or did he escape?
No, he
That's all,
finally
yeah.
he had that club foot. You remember? And he lived it till 1986, and finally died in 1986, and had himself
And the
cremated.
Germans after him all that time?
Well, they looked for him until he escaped and
Till
got into,
1986.
in Sweden. He got across the border. Remember?
Yeah, I
But
think
all those people.
I remember that. Yeah,
helped
he
him,
they counted him up, and it was the 12th Man.
well, it's kind of missing, and they
Yeah.
tortured them guys to no end, sticking stuff under their fingers. Remember, beating them and all that, trying to get it out of them.
Nobody's as mean as the Germans unless it's the Mexican cartel, man. They can.
Oh, I know it. Well, they just cut your head off and dump your body out.
I've been watching that Kiki Camarena story.
Yeah,
You know, he's a DEA agent they captured and tortured.
Okay, back to Christmas trees.
Yeah, I
Can
think it happened.
we stick to the
I
topic?
think this happened close to Christmas time. That's the reason I brought it up.
Well, in
But I thought about you there with that German thing.
in reading this website about Christmas trees, it said long before
Mm-hmm.
Christianity actually started with Christ, right? Like 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
0 BC, 0 AD, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But long before that, the humans saw the evergreen trees because they were green all year. They didn't lose their leaves. They saw these as having some sort of special aspect about them, and so they would introduce those green limbs and leaves into their worship services of the whatever god they had.
As fronds to begin with.
Yeah. And it filtered down through the Greeks and the Romans, and they always had these evergreen. So that's why we do evergreens instead of oak trees for Christmas trees, you know, because they're green all the time.
Yeah.
That's all pagan stuff, isn't it?
Well, it was. We consider it pagan now because we're Christian, but back then they didn't know what pagan was. They just lived their life. They didn't have Christianity. A lot of them didn't even have Judaism. You know, they were just wild people, just
Pagans.
pagans. Yeah.
Or Catholics.
Oh, wait, careful now. Anyway,
Except all them ain't been messed with.
Dave Gardner. I mean, we'll go to our graves quoting Dave Gardner.
What better way to go?
Yeah. So back to our old home and having Christmas trees. Did we ever have a fake Christmas tree? Did we ever have a fake one?
I don't remember that now.
Artificial.
You had to buy them usually.
I don't believe we ever had a fake one.
No, I don't even.
We always went to the woods and got one.
We didn't know they did that.
Did Daddy ever buy a real Christmas tree from a lot or anything like that?
Yeah. I think
From
he did.
Christmas trees where they sell them.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably did. Yeah, I don't remember it specifically, but I can't see how with their bounty available driving down the road and you think, well, it's Christmas. There's a bunch selling. Let's buy one.
Well, nowadays, I've got one that's still out there in the box. I hadn't taken it out of the box for this season.
Yeah.
I tend to not even decorate nowadays. But what's the purpose for decorating for Christmas? Why do we have a Christmas tree up? Why do we put the tree up?
You know, you asking me something.
Well, it brings that Christmas joy into the home, the vision.
You gotta ask a woman about that. And I'm sure Linda
I
could
got
tell you
mine
and
in
be
the
very
boxes ready to
specific.
go up right now.
Well, that's why I say mine's out there in the box. It's a
Some
little-
people just leave their Christmas tree up all year long.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that.
Well, now we got 3 trees right now up.
3.
3 Christmas trees. Yeah.
Why do you have 3?
Ronnie, you remember that lady's house? that we
Linda's
went
had
to?
7 or 8 of them at one time. Oh yeah.
Ronnie had a friend there.
Still
Trooper.
got him, Mike Kirby and his
Mike
wife.
Kirby. We went over to visit. She must have had 1,000 Christmas trees.
No, there was
there.
a tree. I mean, not just a little bit of it elaborately adorned in every room.
All through the house,
All
just
through
packed.
the house. She must have had
Decorated
10
Christmas tree.
high dollar ornaments too, I'm telling you. They go all out, but
And how long does it take them to put all that out?
To this day, I still don't know how or why, being almost infirm as both of them are, why they do that. But it ain't just Christmas. It's Valentine's Day. It's Halloween. You can go over Halloween, and you can walk up to the front door, and this thing will rise up out of the ground. some varmint, You're going to draw your gun.
That must be all she does is just celebrate holidays.
Well,
set up for holidays.
Either that or they're shopping, and they got some deep pockets too. She'll fill up that SUV with crap that they've already got tons of it and bring it back home.
Ronnie, I have to remind you that the whole world is listening to this.
Well, we wish. We wish.
Including the Kirby's.
Oh, yeah. I heard.
Yeah, but they're nice people, good people. Yeah.
Good people, yeah.
They got a good heart.
Yeah. Well, what about, the Christmas trees? You said we tossed those icicles on them and stuff. I can see having a Christmas tree to remind us of the winter and that going back to that old pagan idea of the green means life. But what? I guess we just put those little balls and the icicles and stuff on it for decoration to.
Oh yeah, it just adds to the adornment.
Anything shiny.
Beauty. See, here's the difference too. As while we're getting into that, in man and woman. Man wants functionality. Woman wants beauty.
Yeah.
And a woman is not satisfied if they just get you to go with them somewhere. They want you to at least pretend you're enjoying it. Right?
Yeah.
It's better
that it be when a woman says, "What do you want to do today?" You can be.
That's a loaded question.
You better be very careful there.
Why'd you ask me that?
She knows exactly what we're going to do today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's wanting you to tell her what she wants to hear.
That's right. You have to kind of look at her and figure it out.
That's right. What was that again?
Oh, Christmas tree. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to have a program about women, and I don't know if we'll ever be able
trying
to
understand it.
Trying to understand.
And our special guest today is Imelda Marcus.
Hey, here's a little tidbit of information.
What is it about them shoes anyway, Larry?
Who brought Christmas trees to America? Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
I think that was the Pilgrims.
No, it says right here. Let me read. Most 19th.
I thought it was the Shriners.
No. Okay, let me read this. Most 19th century Americans found Christmas trees an oddity. That's 1800s. The first record of one being on display was in the 1830s by the German settlers in Pennsylvania, although trees had been a tradition in many German homes much earlier. The Pennsylvania German settlements had community trees as early as 1747, but as late as the 1840s, Christmas trees were seen as pagan symbols and not accepted by most Americans. It was considered a pagan symbol. Kind of like when we talk about Easter, a lot of Christians view Easter bunnies and hunting Easter eggs as pagan, kind of, don't they?
Well, the whole thing is pagan. Even Santa Claus, that's a pagan idea. December is not even Jesus' birthday. He was born in the spring, as far as we know. Mardi
Gras is another thing that I don't grasp. It's just like the kids roll out of school, a whole vacation period,
Mardi Gras. Don't Mardi Gras have a religious beginning? Wasn't that something about pagan religion or something?
Beats me. I really don't get it.
Well, anyway, Christmas trees they kind of add something. Why do so many people have these fake ones now? When a lot of the smell of the Christmas tree.
Well, you can buy that in a can and spray it.
Oh, you can spray the tree.
Oh, you can spray it with it, and it'll give it that smell. But it eliminates all the droppings of the leaves and all that. You got to water it. You got to water it 3 times a day. You put a Christmas tree in your front living room that big around, you better have a bucket close by because you're going to be loading water in that thing.
It'll suck up that water.
Yeah.
You ever put aspirin in it?
You can. That'll really heighten the greenery. Not Pepto-Bismol, but Epsom salts. will do the same thing. It'll green up foliage like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard
And
that.
then,
before.
and them
Just
little
a couple of tablespoons of Epsom salts.
them little
Man,
needles
Well,
start
I'll be
falling off. You got to clean them up.
That's exactly right.
Fire hazard.
That too.
Well, tell me this: why do we put the gifts under the Christmas tree?
So you can
Just
wipe
because
off
we
the
want to, that's
needles.
why. Where else would you put them? On top of the tree?
Listen, somewhere
Near the tree.
when the guiding light came on and the three wise men went to see the Christ child born in the
I think there
livery
was a
stable,
tree there somewhere, wasn't
was there a tree in the livery stable? Wouldn't that be a fire hazard?
there? I think it was fire code back in.
Fire code, yeah.
There wasn't no Christmas trees before Christ.
Wasn't no fire code either, I don't believe.
There wasn't no Christmas before Christ.
That's right.
Well, I'm not too sure about that since it's not a Christian holiday anyway. There probably was a Christmas
Well,
was
that
a
brings
holiday.
me to this thing here that we've all seen stuck on the back of cars. This ichthus
What?
fish symbol that predates Christ. You see them stuck on the back.
Oh,
of
yeah, there's a
cars?
fish. I see
That's
that.
an ichthus. ICHTHUS.
Ichthus.
Ichthus. Look it up.
Yeah?
ICHTHUS.
I thought that was just a symbol of Christianity.
It's a predating Christ. It's a Christian symbol, but that's what it's called, the ichthus.
Mhm.
And I wonder what the origin of that is. Before Christ, yet it's a Christian symbol.
Did you think they had those hanging on the Christmas trees?
I don't know. I don't know. Or they could have just gone by with a
Look
bloody
at some old photos, maybe.
with a bloody rag, you know. Yeah, listen, what was the other thing? Brother Dave again said, man, if it hadn't been for Thomas Edison, we'd all be watching television in the dark. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff he come out with, you know, you can listen to it and you laugh every time you think of it, you know. And people don't get it from the north. I said, man,
right.
what's
Well,
so
you
funny
said-
about that?
Ronnie, you said Linda had like 3 Christmas trees up now?
Right now, last count, and she may be putting up another one in my absence if I ain't trying to quit it.
So it's mostly a form of decoration.
It is, yeah.
does-
Yeah.
it's-
Plus, she loves Christmas. Linda's like a youngin' boy. Excuse me, baby. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, I do love Christmas also. Back in the day, when we were growing up, that's the only holiday I remember that we really acknowledged.
That you ever recognized.
We didn't have birthday parties.
No, huh?
Yeah, I never got a birthday party. Did you get one?
Are you kidding?
We didn't have birthday parties. I don't remember Easter
Now I
or
have
anything
to say,
other than
I never
Christmas
had a
that we-
party, but there was one time when I turned 12, my mama gave me this horse that over the years the legs had
That
been
old metal
broke up.
horse,
That old
yeah.
metal
You still
horse.
got that?
I still got it. It's got 2 legs on it. Linda props it up and around, but that's the one thing I remember when I was 12 years old. Mama bought that, saw it, and found
Got
it.
that for Christmas, didn't you?
No, I got it for my birthday.
You
was
did.
12
How come
years
you got a
old.
birthday present? I never got one.
I was the oldest one
Mama liked you best.
for a while there, anyway. Didn't last long though, you know. 2 years later, bam, here you come. I had to move right on out the
You
way.
had to move on out of the way.
Yeah.
No, you always stayed. Ronnie always was the favorite. You know.
Well,
I mean, you take for Papa Tellis give Ronnie $50 for not smoking if
Yeah,
he
but
would graduate, and
If
and
you'd
Ronnie
just
got
not-
his
If you'd
$50.
just not smoked, you'd
But
have been
that changed right after Ronnie. I mean, he only did that for one. Did you get $50?
no.
I didn't get my $50.
Well, listen, I tell everybody
Pop
this.
showed me his $100 bill.
Yeah.
He showed
you,
it.
know, you know what Mom and Daddy gave me for graduation?
What?
Suitcase.
Suitcase.
If there ain't some
Can you
meaning,
take a hint?
meaning behind that, you know, here, boy, put something in there and take off.
Go see the world.
Go see the world.
I think they gave me a brown paper sack.
A big one. Huh?
yeah.
A big stick
Pick-
with a sack to hang on.
Pick
to.
some berries on the way. You know?
What about favorite Christmas presents? You remember something?
Oh, I remember the Christmas. You remember the
Oh,
Christmas?
yes.
The big
and
Christmas?
we all remember that.
I got that black saddle from my
Yeah,
horse,
yeah.
old Toots.
I got a shot.
You got a saddle?
You
I got a black
saddle. Yeah,
silver
black
studded
with
saddle.
breast collar
And the
all
bridle
that
and the
stuff,
breast
yeah.
collar, the whole
I got a
shebang.
shotgun. You got a bicycle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philip got it.
Yeah.
And Avis and Susan got a tricycle.
Avis got a tricycle.
It was
The
a
Susan
big.
one.
It was a big Christmas, man. I'm telling you.
Daddy
And I
must have went
remember
out to the bank that year.
Daddy let me and Lloyd stay up and help put a lot of that stuff together.
Yeah.
Or he didn't let us. He made us. Remember?
Yeah.
We wanted to go to bed, but do you remember during the course of the night we was doing all that? opening that front door of that little house with that, and where they got, everybody found this block for a step out their house. You remember the old block that you stepped on to get down to the ground?
Yeah.
That thing would get iced over, and you better watch your step when you step out, or you'd be. But you remember opening the door, looking out, that thing was covered with snow. That very Christmas, remember that?
You saying we had snow that Christmas?
We had snow that Christmas.
I did
During
not
the course of
remember
the
that.
night, it snowed.
I recall snow. That's probably the same year that we didn't go to school that day. We woke up and everything had a little layer of snow on it.
Yeah.
Now the day you're talking about, it was freezing cold. It was single digit. The gas in the propane tank froze. Remember, you couldn't even light the space heater because the gas had frozen.
Yeah.
It was very cold.
That was a different time.
Just
from
all
that
stay.
Christmas.
Had
It wasn't snowing that time. It was
Had
just
I
a cold
already
snap.
left home then, or what? Had I took
No,
that
no,
suitcase
we
to go?
were all little. That was in the little old house that we lived in down there.
Yeah, it was up in the little house before we moved up there by Aunt Gwendolyn's house.
Yeah.
Down there where
Now you,
Grandpa
Ronnie,
Carroll
you were,
and them lived?
you
Right,
were in
right,
10th
yeah.
grade before we moved from that house. I was in the 8th grade when we moved. When we moved to Aunt Gwendolyn's house from that little house, I was in the 8th grade. So you would have already been in 10th grade.
So that would have been about 1960.
No, 1960.
no.
I was 10.
60, I was in the 7th grade. I went over to Ernest Ward in 1959. That's September 1959. I was in 7th grade, so 1960 I was in the 8th grade. That would be about right. Yeah, 1960.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the end of yeah, that's right.
Well, I for some reason I block it out, that long little house where we moved up there by Aunt Gwendolyn that Uncle Harold built.
Mm-hmm.
I block out the holidays from there. I don't remember any vision, any images of
What I
memory
remember
from Christmas
about
there.
that house, us living in there, is the summer that Daddy put all us to work varnishing the inside of that house. Remember that? Travis, Arthur, every one of us, we was there, and he had varnish, a bucket of it and brushes, and we varnished the wood. Remember how wood paneling it had?
Mm-hmm.
And we varnished the entire house. It had a complete interior. I mean, it was beautiful, man. You could take a picture in there and it just shined.
Well, he must have sent us little ones off somewhere because I don't remember that.
I think y'all was out
I don't
there.
remember that either. Ronnie, you sure you ain't making something?
No, I remember this vividly because I put in a lot of labor. But
Is
Travis
this a
was-
test? Is this a test?
Travis was there a lot. Arthur was there, and he put us bigger ones to work every time we were there. Man, it was a brush, and we was brushing floor, walls, everything, that wood paneling.
Yeah, I
It
just
really-
remember. I remember Willie Harris working on the roof of
Yeah.
that house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You remember Willie getting that whole sheath? It's called a sheath of shingles under one arm,
Yeah.
and he
A
would jump
square.
up with the other arm and grab
Yeah.
a hole and
Grab
swing
a
his feet
square,
up with that
yeah,
sheath.
and then
of-
throw that square
sheath.
up on the roof. Yeah.
No, Travis sitting there by the porch singing alley oop, alley oop, 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 oop.
That Willie was quite remarkable, man.
Willie was the strongest white man we ever knew.
Yeah, well, back to Christmas trees. Y'all got, of course, you got 3 up. You got 1, right? The big white one.
The big white. Yeah, we just went to the white one. I think last year. We had another one, a store bought.
Well, Linda's got one with a front door coming in. It's got multiple type ornaments, put together type tree. Then she's got another one that's real green, and she's got a red and green theme on it. Pretty. I mean, it's about 9 foot. And then she's got about a 5-foot one over near the hearth. And then she's got 2 little ones in the bathroom and 1 in the bedroom on the dresser and 1 on the porch.
Okay.
How many is that? 6?
Yeah, about 6.
I
Maybe
seem like
give one of them to Philip. He don't have one.
I don't have one.
We can help you put yours together, Philip, before we leave.
Yeah. I forego that. I can remember Mom and Papa Tullis' house. I think you might still have one like this, Ronnie. That plastic tree they put gumdrops on. Have you remember that?
Oh yeah. See, this is Papa Tullis's exercise in playing with us when we come over. he'd stick them gumdrops on them limbs, or, you know,
Yeah.
and then check them later after we left, see how many we swiped off that thing.
I don't remember the gum.
You don't remember that? Oh, different colors and a little bitty gumdrops. He'd stick them on the limbs.
It was a clear plastic
Yeah.
tree. It had branches sticking out with little pointy ends, and you put gumdrops
Stick
on all the little
gumdrops
points.
on colored lights, you know.
And was you supposed to eat them?
No,
Hey,
you weren't supposed to leave them alone. They're lights, but we'd slip one over him.
Yeah, you're sitting there like surreptitiously by the,
Yeah,
and you
that's
reach under
right.
your arm over and grab one. The heck?
Yeah, but Papa always checking that tree, man. What's happening to them lights on that tree, man?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that escape in my memory these days. That's one of them.
But anyway,
Yeah, of course he knew he was just playing with us. You know, it's kind of like, hey, get that smile, you know, like that. It's
okay,
kind of went along with that blowing all them bills in that wallet. You know?
this thing keeps crashing. My iPad is old, and it just I bring up a website and it just crashes.
You're right. The idea of our grandpa tell us what a character, you know. Somebody asked me the other day, why did I start writing stories? I said there was just so many characters around me my whole life.
Whole life, yeah.
And
Julia and Preston tell us.
It took me till I was grown
November
to look
the
back
7th,
and realize that they were all characters.
November the 7th, 1895.
Yeah.
Same birthday as Jason Barlow, November the 7th. Yeah.
Lloyd, speaking of your stories, give us a little plug on your book,
Which one?
Baby Blue.
Oh, Baby Blue.
Baby Blue.
You know, I always had this idea of I didn't know what I wanted exactly how to tell that story, but it was a scandalous, you know, in the Baby Blue story.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real true story. Was it?
No, it wasn't a
It
true
was- it
story.
could have
but-
been. It could have
but
been.
it was a scandal that you know, I won't go into details, but we had a little bit of a scandal in our own family, and I was trying to think of how to tell that interesting story without saying what it was. You know, it's a fictional tale, and I had recurring dreams about some of that stuff.
So how long had you had the root of the idea in your mind?
Since we were young and riding horses through them woods.
No, probably since I was grown. You know, because the scandal that I was talking about, we didn't find out till we were grown.
Oh, yeah.
About that. So probably somewhere after that, I just had this idea roaming around how, you know, you find almost in every family they have their own little scandals. You know, there's something they're not telling. Mm-hmm. You know, and most of them, some a lot more than others.
Yeah.
We're pretty clean as that goes. But anyway, I had a dream about an old black man sitting in a house. He had this big snake, and he was petting the snake, and it was all these, you know, like when they had Cool Hand Luke's around it.
It's that meatloaf late at night.
It might have been. Had all these cars outside, and this old Negro man was trapped inside, and he kept saying
African American.
And he's petting the snake. And then I had this vision of this old car going over that little Brushy Creek Bridge and exploding on there. And I used to have fragments, and that's one reason I put Manse Mobley in the story. Mm-hmm. I had this vision. It had to be about an old black man in the story. And I just had this compelling.
Do you remember the
notion of putting
many
him in
times riding the school bus to school early in the morning, kind of like this morning, frosty, and be crossing Brushy Creek Bridge, and here come Manse with them rubber boots and that shotgun out of them woods with about 40 dogs, frost on everything, a sack full of coons or something on there. And he'd be tromping up out of them woods about it.
You know, running old Donnie Patterson, who passed away recently, by the way.
Donnie Patterson did?
Yeah, he passed away. I saw Donnie, he got cancer. He got it, and then 11 years later it came back. And the last time I saw him, he looked pretty bad. And then I saw on Facebook something alluding to, you know, him being gone. But, yeah, Donnie, when he lived in No Comes.
In between our ages or something?
Donnie was born in 44.
Was he? He was older than I was.
Or maybe even earlier than that, 44, I think.
Huh.
Yeah,
See the one that had the dogs?
The little pony.
No, here recently he had the dogs.
I got my dog from Donnie. Yeah. Border Collie.
How did they migrate to No
But anyway,
Comes?
he brought up Manse Mobley before we get off topic. before he died, he was telling me how he remembered when I said I used to go over to this old man's house and had all these dogs.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that was old Manse Mobley. He had this big horse.
Uh-huh.
He was quite a character.
Yeah.
Was it Mobley or Mobley?
Mobley, Mobley.
Well, I always called it Mobley.
Yeah.
Could have been Mobley.
Wife named Lucy.
Lucy Mobley?
Mm-hmm.
Mobley.
Could have been Mobley. Mobley.
Lucy Mobley.
I never saw him. I don't remember him.
You don't remember Mance?
So that character in the book is...
Mance used to
That's
dress
the way
up.
I remember him.
Mance used to plow that horse, pull a wagon with it, and then on Sunday he'd put a saddle on him and dress him up, and that thing was like he was in a parade.
Yeah,
and he'd ride that horse up to what's that city or town up above Evergreen? He'd ride that horse on Sunday and back.
Yeah, he'd take that horse the whole
What's that predominantly black city or town that way?
Owassa?
No, something like that.
Evergreen.
No, it wasn't Evergreen.
Andalusia. Sorry to cut you boys off here, but I'm going to have to call this the end of our session today, and wish everybody a happy Merry Christmas, and you and your families. And don't forget that Christmas tree now. Bye.